So let me just get the perspective I want here. So a time to revisit our holding environment. And I've realized how I've come to appreciate these weeks of refreshing, reconnecting with holding environments. While we certainly take some time each time we sit to reestablish our holding environment, it seems to me that's like a quick check-in, like taking a quick shower, just to establish the basics, rather than this whole week, which is like a lovely soaking hot tub that I can just relish and savor. So it's just a lovely week for me, and hope it is for you as well. And it's just so important to remember the care and maintenance of our holding environment, especially in these really challenging times. And make no mistake, these are challenging times. We can look at how challenging all times are, but I don't know, something about these times we're living through that seems to create a lot of rattle. And how do we care for our holding environment internally and externally in these challenging times? In our world, our country, our communities, and maybe the challenge for us personally as well. We all have our stuff that we're dealing with. And as I thought about especially this external holding environment as it relates to my internal holding environment, I recognized my privilege and good fortune and deep gratitude for having a safe and comfortable external environment that I can work with. It was really, I'm in Ohio and it's not hurricane season or anything, but it was stormy and thundery and gusty this morning. And I thought, I have a safe, warm, and dry place to be. And it just called up such gratitude, and how even that gratitude not only is about my external environment, but it warms my heart and my internal holding environment as well, as compassion for those who may not have this safety and comfort. And how challenging that is for so many just to have a safe space for whatever climate reasons, conflict reasons, so many reasons why just that external holding environment can be a challenge. So cultivating the compassion and gratitude for what I do have in this moment. It may not always be so. So with all these challenges, how do we continue to cultivate our own holding environments? And what bubbled up for me was noting my long-term habit of whenever I've had a large project to begin working on, what I do first is I decided I'd straighten, I'd organize, I'd go out and buy pens when we still use pens to write with, if you remember those days, or computer cartridges to make sure I had enough ink or whatever that was. And I'd organize, I'd throw out what I didn't need, I'd put in folders what I did need, and, spend some time doing that. And my inner critic had a picnic with that. You're just dilly-dallying, you're just putting it off, you're avoiding doing the work you have to do. And I really gave myself a hard time and judged myself for that organizing ahead of time. But as I thought about it, this is okay. This is even skillful practice. I was creating a steadying holding environment. a more caring, a more organized holding environment. And that's a really important part of the process when we think about our holding environment, particularly when facing daunting tasks, when facing the challenges of our world. It really is okay to start with what's a little bit more manageable. You know, when my internal environment is a mess, is filled with doubt and uncertainty and fear and anxiety and worry, you know, it's okay to say, wow, that's overwhelming. I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet. Let me do what's more concrete. Let me dust. Let me organize my files, whatever that takes to feel that I have an environment that's conducive to calm, to being at ease, to being supportive, and clear up the external mess first before I deal with this more overwhelming internal messiness. And what that brought to mind was the story of Chudapathanga, one of the Buddha's early disciples, and one of my favorite stories of the Buddha's disciples. The story goes that among Shakyamuni's Buddha's Sangha, there were two brothers, Mahapantanka and Kudapantanka. The later, the younger of the two, was reportedly a bit dull and a bit slow. His memory was poor, and what he learned he soon forgot. And so after a few years, he felt there was little progress made in his cultivation. So one day after lunch, all the monks were just kind of napping in a bamboo grove in the middle of summer. And Kudapantanka was alone and weeping. The Buddha happened by and tried to console him. And Kudapantanka said, you know, my brother is a smart and he attained this highest level of arhatship soon, but I'm stupid. I can't even recite one verse. My brother is really disappointed in me. He told me I should leave the Sangha and just go look after our elderly parents and not waste time. I fear I won't have any opportunity to practice Buddhism in this life. That's why I'm sad. I beg Buddha to show mercy and bless me with your guidance. And in the story, and this is just so lovely, it says, caressing Kudapantanka's scalp, the Buddha said, and that's just such a beautiful image. And the Buddha said, you need not be sad, and neither need you leave the Sangha. Let me give you one simple gatha to recite. Sweep away the dirt. You should keep chanting these 4 words every day. However, being slow and forgetful, Kudapantanka could not even remember those 4 words. Feeling depressed, he started to cry again. And the Buddha said to him, every morning, after you shake out your clothes and sweep up the dust, just say, sweep away. In the afternoon, when you clean up the bamboo house and remove rubbish, just say the dirt. This way you chant as you work and you won't forget the gatha. Sweep away the dirt. And he followed Buddha's advice and kept chanting, sweep away the dirt, whenever he was dusting, cleaning, and sweeping the floor. Sympathetic, the other monks often chanted with him to help him memorize. Thus, more than a decade had passed of sweeping away the dirt, morning and afternoon. One morning, while the monks were meditating in the bamboo grove, Chudapantanka was cleaning in their living quarters and kept muttering, sweep away the dirt. Just then, the sun shone through the windows on the dust floating all around. Sounds like my house. The dust on the outside. And immediately, Kudapantanka went into samadhi, a deep state of concentration. And when he came out of that a little while later, he suddenly understood it all and said, there are two types of dust. The dust on the outside can be seen by the naked eye and easy to sweep away. The dust on the inside, that is greed, anger, and delusion, however, can only be seen by looking through your own mind. If you can't remove the inner dust, you will be perpetually caught up in the cycle of rebirth. Compassionate Buddha, I now get it. I've swept away my own inner dust. And suddenly, over the top of his head, a radiant glow of light shone straight into the depth of his heart. That is how he attained arhatship, the highest form of awareness. I just find that the most lovely, gentle, accepting teaching. Start where we're at, and I can't tell you how often I just resonate with Kuda Pantanka. I'm not going to get it, send me away, but just do what's simple. Start where I'm at. Recognize that. Do what we can do as we can do it, easily, caringly, with the support of our teachers, of our Sangha. The Buddha helps Kuda Pantanka begin with his external environment to be held. The Sangha recognizes and accepts him as he is and creates this loving, caring, supportive, holding environment for him. And Kuda Pantanka uses that caring, holding environment to patiently, diligently practice. No strain, no striving, just caring, patient attention. Just this, clear, clean, sweep the dirt away. Thank you so much for your attention. And let's practice some sweeping, not externally, but you can do that too if you want as your meditation today. Let's start with our bodies, where we're at. Our body in this space that's holding us, this space that we're living in physically, and this space that we're creating as our Sangha. Whatever gentle, non-striving movement can help you feel a bit more settled, a bit more at ease, releasing what's not helpful, softening, accepting me just as I am in this moment, whatever that brings. And as the body begins settling in its own time, in its own way, no pressure, perhaps noticing and savoring the letting go, the coming to rest, as if coming home after a long trip. So good to be back, welcoming ourselves. And as we were reminded last week, as Bill would say, how you doing in there? Whatever word you might use, buddy. My favorite word is kiddo. How you doing, kiddo? What's going on in there? Breathing the space that's just right for your holding environment. with perhaps just that bit of gratitude and compassion for being held in this space. For the holding environment you've created externally as well as internally. And another of Bill's images, just building that internal nest, one twig at a time. One twig of steadiness. One twig of stability. One twig of grounded. And then softening and feathering that nest for an easy landing place. appreciating body held by this seat on this ground, held in this field of gravity. Mind and heart held tenderly in this body breathing. And perhaps if it fits, dropping in a bit of gratitude for this space where thoughts can be held lightly, feelings held softly and warmly. And to whatever extent you might be able in these last few minutes, opening your heart to the joy of being held within the environment of our Sangha. Much gratitude and appreciation.